how the fuck on PC do I go to mouse and keyboard? And that's in a weird spot, but if you go to your sound and display, you will see a keyboard and mouse you'll see a controller option and you want to change it to keyboard and mouse. Okay, so this is just going to be a video on quick tips for people who don't want to cheese the game and they don't want, the game spoiled for them. But you kind of want a decent idea of what to do and where to go and whatnot. So on the way here, this is tutorial cave. You're probably gonna get into your first boss fight. You're not gonna be able to kill the boss. Uh, just go ahead and die. Don't get scared about it. The game hasn't started yet. Once you're here, you're gonna see that item up there. Um, you're gonna waste a lot of time trying to figure out how to get to that item. You really don't want to worry about that item right now. The entrance is actually outside of the cave. Uh, You'll find it some other time. You go ahead, jump down there, do your tutorial, and then head on up. And you will see an imp statue. Now, in the beginning of the game, you had the option to pick your keepsake, and I chose to use the golden seed in order to keep my classes better. And you could have gotten a soul. Some type of key item. I forget what it's called. Let's see. It is. Do I have one? I don't know if I have anyone. Oh, yep. Stone sword key. I was trying to say cell sword. I was like, that doesn't sound right. You get a stone sword key and use it in those and it unlocks. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You can buy the keys later and unlock this at a later time, like I'm about to do in a few. And then you come up in this elevator, back up. So one of the first things you're gonna wonder is what you should first start doing. First thing you're gonna want to do is you're gonna walk out of here, and you can see that dude right in front of you. This is the world. You are currently finally starting the world. These are the equivalent of bonfires. These are the gray sites. They're all lost. You come to this guy, you're gonna talk to him. He's gonna make fun of you.
For an audience.
Tell you you're maidenless. Now I'm sure by now you've heard of the tree sentinel, and that's that guy over there. You just want to go ahead and avoid him. But what you want to do is, I'm sure you want to get that horse, right? Like that's all you care about. And it's not really a horse, it's a fucking goat on steroids. Look at this. It can fucking run fast, it can jump high. It's all around pretty great. It is sporadic as fuck. So if you're in like I'm pushing left right now. Like he's sporadic. But you want to get the horse. So what you have to do is find, starting now, 3 gray sites. Alright? Gotta get 3 bonfires. Now there is one here, and you gotta sit at it. So you have to literally sit at it, which will make your screen turn black. And then leave. And I don't want you to miss this. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, at that cathedral right there, there's one right there. There's also a merchant right there. So you go ahead and get that one. And they're not usually too far apart from each other. So you should be able to find another one pretty quickly. And then a lady will come to you, and you might end up right here. I think she stands right here or something. And you'll be able to get the horse and switch it like that. Now, I actually did switch all of my buttons around. It made the game a lot easier for me personally, just because, coming from like Call of Duty or something where you use F to interact a lot, and I started using F on a lot of games, so I wanted to keep it more uniform across the games. So I'll go ahead and show you real quick. So we got keybinds. Just go ahead and look at it. So like shift for backstepping, dodging and stuff, just because, jumping, spacebar, like who doesn't, crouching, control, the likes. Now I did change all these. I think it's initially blocked out. It's not really necessary, but I just wanted to get the keybinds out of the way. And the camera, I don't really use C, I actually use the middle mouse button. That's to lock onto targets. V in order to change your incantations, you know, your spells. Switch item, that's how you switch from between your flask and your horse, and whatever items you add in your inventory. Now you can use these, but you know, my hand's nowhere near that, so I try to use shift up and shift down. Um, it's kind of a pain in the ass, especially, you know, I might actually change it to control, because every now and then you'll be like on the side of a cliff, and shift makes me move. So I don't really like that. So I'm gonna change it to control up, control down. Alright, so that would be your right hand and your left hand. And then I did change these. So obviously you wanted your attack to be, you know, your left click. And I actually changed my right attack to be the right click. And I used a mouse button to guard. That is also your left hand. And if you guard and then right click, then you can do basically a super strong attack. Now I don't follow this, but you can use your skill. You know, that actually makes a lot of sense. I've seen it do some weird shit. I'm gonna change that to something I don't use. Anything at all. Well, I don't. Oh, this is from the mouse. I don't want to use it. Oh, no. No. Something weird. I'll alt down. I'll probably never do that. Alright. So I don't know how to clear it. I don't think there's a way to do it. Use item as R, so like if you want to heal, I use R to think about reload your health bar, you know, things like that. Interact, as you saw earlier, I changed it to F. My skill is E. So I get Q to change, and then E to use skill. I think that is all. And then networking, just go ahead and perform matchmaking, enable your summon signs, play online, all that if you want. Be able to play with friends and whatnot. Alright, so now you got 3 bonfires and you're kind of just lost. Like, you don't know where to go. Alright, so that is pretty easy, pretty common. And really you're just going to want to explore. Like, you'll find dungeons. It's not all super open world like this. It's kind of like how, you know, in Skyrim, there's caves, and then you go in the cave, and that's pretty much your dungeon. That's pretty much how it is here. The only difference is you don't see like quest markers and whatnot. But while you are moving around, so eventually you'll figure out that G is your map. While you are moving around, you can place map markers. You can place unlimited map markers. In order to move around the map, you gotta use your WASD. So as you can see here, I have 2 markers. These, I used the death ones to mark, I think I marked caves. Let's hope I remember that correctly. I use that to tell me that there's a merchant there. And I use the tree, so I know that I had an idea that there's a tree nearby. As you see, I was a little off, but my guesstimation is pretty close. I can actually do this at some point if I want. If I can ever figure out how. So what I pretty much did, we're gonna start out around here. I just kind of traveled north, as you can see. But I also started out at level 1. Because I started out as a wretch. Does it say that here? Let's go there. How is it not under status? Well, I started out as a wretch, so I started out at level 1, and I had to level up the hard way. And that is the other reason that you want to hit 3 bonfires, is so that you can start leveling up. So once you talk to the lady after hitting the 3 bonfires and you get that cutscene, you go to a gray site and you have the option to level up. As you see, it's getting a little expensive for me. So vigor is obviously your health. This is super good for your weapon art skills or your ashes. So like, it's actually your mana bar, but it uses your mana, so it's super important for that. But it's also important for spells and whatnot. But if you're trying to just play the game and you don't want to cheese it, just continue using a melee build. Also, magic, while it's super strong, like overpowered, it is not great for PvP, so if you get invaded, just be prepared to suck. So just play the game how you normally would, just try to have fun. Endurance will increase your max equip load and your stamina. You want to increase your strength and your dexterity, these two are important. Try to get to level 16 as soon as you can, because that's pretty much where all the starter weapons that you'll be able to get early on are going to be. They're going to be around 16 both. Literally, like, both of them. You want to get your vigor up and your mind up if you use weapon arts. If you don't use it, then, I mean, it's really not that important. I use weapon arts because it stuns the ever-living god out of things. Here, you'll find golden seeds. At some point, it'll start costing 2 golden seeds for you. And if you don't have enough, it won't let you do it. And here you use Sacred Tear, which if you look for golden trees or golden branches, you know, small things, that's pretty much where you'll find those. And then you can allocate. So I might actually, because I've been using mana a lot more, I might actually go ahead and use one more on there. And this is where you memorize spells. So I actually use R to remove, and then I'll click it, and then I want a healing spell because I have found myself needing it quite a bit. This is where you can sort your chest. You see all the ashes I have. These are pretty much additional weapon arts. And I haven't used them yet because I really like the weapon art my weapon came with. So golden seed, as you saw, I needed 2 to be able to use it. Now something early on you're going to see a lot is, oh wait, no, those are ashes. Ashes of war. What the hell are these? Alright, I don't know what those are yet. We'll have to figure that some other time. Something early on that we will see are these rune arcs. So, you at some point will beat a boss and you'll get the Great Rune. I have no idea if I have the Great Rune yet or not. I don't think I've beaten the boss yet. But you'll get it, and then the Rune Arc, as you can see in the item effect, grants the blessing to equip Great Rune upon use. So once you have the Great Rune, you use the Rune Arc to be able to equip it up until death, and you'll just have to re-equip it using a Rune Arc. And that'll give you +5 attributes to pretty much all your attributes, literally all of them. And I feel like there's something else I should talk about. You will definitely want to learn to craft. These 2 are important, so pick up those. Looks like I'll have to head into a dark cave here soon. You'll definitely need these. You will find yourself getting poisoned, and you will find yourself getting scarlet rot pretty early on. So that's definitely important. If you want to ever say hello to somebody, you see this ugly thing? Yeah. Another thing from previous Souls games, let's say you have some runes, like you got the golden rune or you got whatever. So you can see that there's a number 4 next to the next to it, right here. That is pretty much the level of the rune, not how many you have. You'll see how many you have right there. If you have a whole bunch, don't use. It'll be super slow. Use selected, and then select how many you want to use. If you have 909, or if you have 99, it'll make things way easier. Just do it all at once. Now if you want to summon people, you will need this. A Pearl Calling Finger Remedy. It will reveal co-op and hostile summoning signs. You can craft these if you get a crafting book. You can buy these. You can earn them. There's a lot of ways to get it. But that's how you, if you need help with a boss fight on multiplayer, this is how you do it. I have seen one boss fight that had a bot with it, and I almost beat it with the boss, or with the bot. It was still pretty hard. Now we have the tarnished one, and that's how you put your summoning sign down if you want to help somebody else. I haven't really used any of these other things. And then at some point you're gonna see an option after you die to either go to the last grace site you're at, or go to a pillar, and this is the pillar. So you'll want to see these pillars, walk up to them, make sure you can't activate them or examine them. And if you die, you can choose between the grace site and that. And sometimes this is a better place to go to because it's usually near a boss fight, like Tree Sentinel. If you see it, then just be on your guard. Make sure you spin your runes. Well, in this game, it's called yeah, it's called runes. But other Dark Souls games, it's going to be called Souls. I'm going to interrupt the editing for a split second to elaborate on the summoning signs. So when you take a remedied finger, as soon as you take it, you should be able to see the golden signs on the ground in order to summon people. If you die, then it will go away. But as far as I'm aware of, there's no time limit for how long it'll last, as long as you don't, log. Hopefully, it doesn't go away when you log out. But as long as you don't die, you should be pretty good. But you're gonna have to keep popping them, which means you're gonna have to keep crafting them. You look into your equipment, and you go to an item, go to a blank one. So here's the one I have equipped. You see the, I can't fucking look at it. Under attack power physical, it says 124 plus. Alright, so that is your base stat on the weapon. 115, 94, 73. Now, if you go down more, it'll say attribute scaling. So D and D, so that scale's pretty weak. But as you can see, my dexterity is 18 and my strength is 16. So if you combine that with my attribute scaling, you go back up to attack power, it says 124 plus 24. 24 is the scaled up based on my stats. So obviously the more strength or dexterity you have in this current weapon, the higher the buff point will be. See here I have 11, 34, 19, 17, but yeah, 57 here. Well, that's what that's for, and it's super important. If you have any questions, let me know, and I hope that helps you out.